barricade, some blue fencing, and it looks as though some protesters trying to get through that.
Never left your fucking lips before.
Yes, they are. They're trying to get through the barricades, and I see some actually hopping over the fence right now. They're making their way to a part of the street that has been blocked off. Remember, we have those 20 minutes before that curfew. We're close to that 9 p.m. So yeah, now we are starting to see, as we get closer to the top of the hill by the Ferris wheel, that's when we started to see that these groups combine. And it's going to be difficult for law enforcement to tell who's who, but of course we're going to keep you posted.
Astrid, thank you. We do want to head back over to Brittany Edney. She is in the thick of it as well. Brittany, where are you right now?
Going down.
We're about a block from where I was about a few minutes ago. I will tell you that this is where the rocks are coming from. You see this construction site right here? Well, this is where the protesters have been coming to get those rocks that they've been throwing at police and everywhere. And look, the fence is going down, Richard. And so a lot of people have been trying to knock down this fence. We saw about 10 or so people trying to pick it up, trying to move it. There's a lot of different, shovels, poles, construction site objects out here that people are now turning into objects to toss at police. If you look right now, you can see about 8 or so people carrying that large fenced off portion. It looks like they're going to put it right there in the street. Richard, come with me a little bit right over here. It looks like that is where they are going to try to separate themselves from police. In fact, as we move forward and closer to it, Richard, to our right, you can see that this is where they are creating this makeshift barrier, okay? So we've got these fence pieces that have been moved from that construction site, put up right in between both the protesters and also SWAT, which is about half a block up there. So we're seeing a lot of tensions, a lot of emotions. Hey guys,
why she ain't marching with us?
So in a calm way, so we can get this on TV.
Hey,
they had some people that was in here and they started throwing that way. They had some
Where did the rocks come from? Where did the rocks come from? You guys
it came from their undercovers.
Look at them.
It came
Look what
from
they
their
doing.
undercovers. Once we ratted them out, they saved them.
Yeah.
We all seen that
Black
happen.
Lives Matter.
Do not be mistaken.
Black
Do not
Lives
take any of
Matter.
my words out.
So
Black Lives Matter. Free fat.
So again, as
All
you
right.
can tell, we have a very emotional situation right now, and it looks like we're going to come over here and peek kind of through these few protesters and check out all the wood, you guys. There is all this wood being taken now in almost an assembly line. An assembly line of people are now removing everything from this construction
Brittany.
site. More fences. Hey, behind you. More
Brittany,
fences,
once again,
wood,
please.
debris.
Yeah, your safety and Richard, our photographer's safety, is paramount. Please be careful. It's unfortunately looking like a free-for-all at that construction site. Astrid Martinez, over to the left there. All right.
Yeah, you can see here too, by right, the building that is under construction is actually being torn down. Parts of the fences are being laid in the middle of the street, along with wooden piles. The problem with this is this can be used as weapons. So some people are retreating, but a lot of the people that were causing that commotion earlier on are staying here. They're boisterous. You can see that, they have a mission to accomplish tonight. They're lining up fences.
So Astrid, do we know?
They're kind of building like a barricade in the middle of the street right now.
That's what I was going to ask. Is that the purpose, so they can have basically a barrier between them and the officers? So when it gets to 9 o'clock and those officers and National Guard start to use force to move them out, to get them to go home, they feel as though they have some kind of shield, some kind of protection.
It seems like that's what they're building for sure. But if you take a look at the distance between where the protesters are and the National Guardsmen, it's just a few hundred feet. But this fence, this metal fence with some wooden barriers, really would not stand a chance up to these big metal tankers. But they're still here. They're voicing their opinions. They're showing their emotions. This is a nation right now that's on edge. It's a nation in crisis. We're seeing some of the biggest protests that we've seen in generations. We're going to keep you posted here with this barricade. What happens? The only danger is that, of course, a lot of these things, if they start getting thrown in the crowd, they could become weapons.
Absolutely. And Astrid, right behind you, we were seeing a number of people picking up bricks from that construction site and hard objects. to use against people. Obviously, when things, when a confrontation happens, which unfortunately looks like it could only be a matter of minutes before that happens. Astrid, stay where you are.
Yeah.
Brittany, Edney, we see Brittany. Brittany, can you hear me? I know things got pretty tense around you with that group that you were with.
Yeah, things have definitely gotten out of control with this group of protesters. I can tell you that construction site where everyone was taking everything from, now they have moved all of those. Look, you can see someone lighting a dollar bill right over here, and they're going to start a fire. We are being told that they're going to start a fire for all this wood and debris and everything else that they have moved from this construction site. It is in front of the fence barrier that has been created in between both SWAT and the protesters, and there goes the flames, Richard. Hey, Richard, over here to my right, talking to my CBS 46 photographer. The flames are starting to go off as we see more people adding wood to this pile right now. We're hearing cheers from the opposite side. That's where our other crew is. It doesn't look like the fire actually took. It's starting to go out, actually. And as we see a lot of these protesters now actually retreating back behind this blue barrier, let's take a look and see what things are shaping up to our left. Richard, down here by SWAT. So far, law enforcement still staying firm. They haven't broken the line. They haven't pushed forward any closer as this makeshift barrier was created from protesters. But we are starting to see everyone on the left side towards law enforcement kind of make their way back behind these fence barriers. Right now, we're seeing a total of 3. So if SWAT were to move forward, hypothetically, you guys, if law enforcement were to start coming down this street, they would have to go through 3 separate barriers that have been created, each one separated by about, 150 feet or so. But we're going to go ahead and back up just a little bit and send it back to you.
All right, Brittany, of course, as always, please be careful, watch your back. We do have crews, our crews who are out there in downtown Atlanta. They do have security with them. Certainly we're concerned about their safety as they cover this story and bring you the latest information. Ashley Thompson had been walking with that peaceful group